Hello and greetings. Today we're playing BattleTech. My name is Mountain Lion 2. I've been around for a while, but this is my first video. So if I do anything wrong, or if I don't say anything, leave me a comment. But as Jim Carrey says, be gentle. So today we're just going to look at how to play the game, but we're not going to start with the rinky-dinky mechs that you get when you first start. We're going to start about 2/3 of the way through a career to show you what the actual gameplay looks like, and we'll show you some techniques and how to lay out your mechs so that you can actually crush the opponent versus getting canned. So we'll hit here, we'll hit continue. Continue. There we go. Load it up. So I've been playing this game for a couple of months. This is my second playthrough. I have played the campaign, and the storytelling is awful. You can tell that's not where they spent their money. But if you just want to run around and crush mechs, going through the campaign is not the way to go. Go through career. Alright, here we go. So you can see my Argo is decked out. I spent money upgrading it to get all the perks for my mechs. So as you see, this is the basic layout. On your left, you've got the different areas of the Argo. Up through here, this is just the schematic of it. Your morale, I'm at 50. Morale is really important when you start to actually get into gameplay. I'll explain that a little later. And this is the finance, basically showing that I have enough money for the last 18 months. On the right side, timeline, when my financial report is due, when my next upgrade is due. This will also show you when your mechs are ready, when your pilots are injured, when they're ready to come back to duty. The splash point means I'm in a system where there is basically it's a mini story of a couple of missions that's kind of stringed together that you can get some cool stuff out of. Then this is the planet I'm at. I'm not going to pronounce that, but it belongs to the Free World League, and that little star means I am really well liked by them. So we'll jump into, where are we going to go first? We'll go to the barracks first. So this is the barracks layout on the Argo. There's two things in here. One is the memorial wall. This is where all your dead mech warriors go. I don't have any because I am persnickety and I don't like to kill off my mech warriors and do something dumb. And then there is the actual barracks. You see I have 5 mech warriors. My main character is Saren. And then the supporting cast, I have Moccasin, which is my kind of backup. I hate him. He freaking does not do well. But the others I've all up to 10s. And so, but when you first start out, your pallets are about, they're about the 2 or 3 ratings, and you get to upgrade them along these different trees, paths. I usually select the sure footing, the bulwark, and the ace pilot. For most of my pilots, you kind of want to mix, but sure footing, what does sure footing do? Oh, it gives you 1 extra evasion charge, meaning it makes you harder to hit, which you want. And bulwark gives you better cover, and guarded means you take less damage. Also something you want. An ace pilot lets you move after you shoot. Usually in the progression of the game, you move, then you shoot. But with ace pilot, you can go ahead and shoot, and then move. It becomes real handy more for characters like Razorcat, which is my flanker, and he has, as you see, the different layout. He has bulwark, sensor lock, and Master Technician. Master Technician is great because it gives you an extra +1 to initiative, which means you get to go sooner. And depending on the weight of your mech, you will have to, basically on the weight of your mech depends on the order that you will go. So if you put him in a heavy mech, he gets to go sooner, meaning you get to fire first and eradicate your enemy before they get a chance to. I put him in a flanker because it allows me to move, shoot, and move again. And I'll explain that a little later once we get into gameplay. But it's really helpful. So we'll move next to the Mech Bay. And this is where Yang hangs out. And Yang will give you the basic advice for all your mechs. But as you play the game, you kind of ignore him and you'll lay out your own mechs. So as you say, I have all 3 bays open, but I don't have anything in them because they cost money and I'm cheap. Usually I only run 4, but I have the Grasshopper in case I go into heavy missions that require more firepower. So I'll start with my basic tactic is to have 1 missile boat, which is the Archer. I have my flanker, which is the Phoenix Hawk. And what makes this a great flanker is 1, it has incredible movement and incredible jump jets. And you get a bonus when you jump. So if you're trying to shoot somebody in the back, you get a 10% bonus if you jump around them and shoot them in the back. The Marauder, this is my HQ. It gives a bonus, a 10% damage reduction bonus to the entire squad, which is phenomenal. And it also gives you a bonus to call shot, which I will show in gameplay. So that becomes credible because you can actually get a 35% headshot using a Marauder, which is outstanding. And then I have my Battlemaster, which is my big tank, which is armed to teeth and can take out most things with 1 shot. So, as I say, I run with basically 2 attackers, the Marauder and the Battlemaster. The Archer is support. He can lob 40 missiles in 1 go and 1 alpha strike. And the Phoenix is my scout and my flanker to attack in the back. The next area is engineering. This is where you upgrade the Argo. This is Dr. Farah. And as you can see, I've upgraded most things. Some things aren't as important as training modules. If you go through a lot of pilots, training modules are good, but I don't, so I don't use them all that much. But things like the repair bay, early in the game, the med bay, your pilots are going to get injured often and for the dumbest reasons, like a laser blast. I could see a pilot injured from an ultra cannon or something, but from a laser, yeah, I don't know who wrote the rules for this, but they don't know physics. The drive system gets you to where you want to go faster, which is better, gives you more time to play. And navigation. This is the star map. This is Sumeri, and she's the pilot. And as you can see, there are lots of systems to explore, lots of pirate systems to explore, and depending on where you are, which I don't know where I am, a little symbol says there we are. Hilpala, where we are, the Free World League. I don't know how we got out here, but we're here. But you can see what factions are active in this area, and I'm aligned with the Free World League and the Pirates. And the Pirates you want to be in league with because they give you the best weapons and the best mechs. If you just stick with the standard factions, you get basic crap. But Pirates will give you access to Star League technology, which is great. Oh, I know why we're here, because there was a flashpoint. And this is the challenge rating of the system. As you see, it's moderate to difficult, 3.5. It's pretty good. It means you're going to see bigger mechs. When they programmed this game, they did not put a whole lot into the AI of your opponent, so they make up for it by sending more and bigger stuff at you. But don't expect them to, work with strategy or tactics. They just kind of come at you and they target one mech and try to blow it to pieces. So if you're smart and you can move your mechs around and minimize the damage, you won't actually take all that much damage from them, even the bigger ones. So, the captain's quarters. This is where you can choose if you want to align with a faction. As you can see here, the tops with the World League, with the Pirates, a little bit with Lyrian, okay with the Federal Sons, but Canopus, Capellan, they don't like me very much. You got to make choices to who you're going to align with, who you're going to take missions against. So, but I'd highly suggest aligning with the Pirates, mostly because they're far more entertaining to deal with. Up here you have the Mercenary Review Board. We have a 688 rating, I think it's out of 1,000. And every time you complete a mission, this goes up. This affects who you can recruit and what missions you can take. So the higher you are, the better. You can also set the color of your mechs, paint job. I prefer chrome because it looks cool. And then over here on the left, you can choose your symbol. We've gone with the Black Widow and called ourselves Saren's Valkyries. Saren is actually a character for one of my books. I use her for all the games I play. So let's see, where should we go? Let's go to the command center here, and we'll get started on a game. So this is Darius. He is the XO. He handles pretty much everything. So as you can see here, this is the Flashpoint mission. We'll do that one later. And these are all the missions that are available on this planet. Each one has a payout. Your maximum salvage means, what this means is you get 3 choice and then up to 15 total. The computer will select the rest of them for you. So it's kind of a grab bag, but you get first dibs. But not up to 3. I'll explain that in a second here. So we'll pick a semi-easy mission. Let's see, Stubborn Surrender. This basically gives you a hint of what to expect. It's a battle, which just means it's you against your enemy. Where it's kind of the biome it's in, which is lowlands. Your biome can affect your heat, and things like Mars, moons, deserts, all affect how well you dissipate your heat. So if you're running heavy energy weapons, you're going to have trouble in those areas. But every kind of weapon generates heat. Just energy weapons generate more. But if you lay out your battle mechs correctly, you can mitigate that as best as possible. In here you'll have the max pay, which that's not what you're going to get, but that's the most you can get. The max salvage, again, you're only going to get a fraction of that. And your max reputation with them, again, that's the max you can get, but that's not usually what you're going to get. You get Darius's opinion of the mission, which are sometimes just kind of funny. So we'll go to the negotiation screen, and these two sliders, like I said, will change how much money and how much salvage you get. You can put them all the way up or all the way down. If you put them all the way down, you can get maximum salvage. If you go maximum payment, or you go in between, and it will tell you how much you're going to get. And I forgot, this one is not. This is against the pirates. I don't know if I want to run against the pirates. Whatever. It's only an 8-point hit. This is your reputation down here. And your reputation with each one will determine how much extra money you get and how much of a discount you get at the store. And how much you can sell stuff for. So we'll accept that, and we'll move into the, I don't know what screen this is, the prep screen. And you can see it's already loaded for me of what I want to take, because it just goes with whatever was loaded last time. And Razor Cat is my flanker, is in the Phoenix Hawks. Snowbird is in the Battlemaster. Shocker is the Archer. And Saren is in the Marauder. And as you can see, Saren, Shocker, and Snowbird pretty much have the same buffs, and they're all 10s. Whereas Razor Cat is the Master Technician, which will allow him to go first, which puts that Phoenix Hawk into the number 4 initiative out of 5. Means he'll go second in order, whereas the rest of the Lance goes 4th, and Snowbird will go 5th. But she bats cleanup, anything I don't kill, but the rest of them she'll get. So we'll go ahead and hit deploy. And we'll wait for this to load. I will say that this game is heavy on loading if you do not have a fast machine. I used to run an old i7 4700, I think, and it would take 3 or 4 minutes to load a stream, whereas I'm now running an i9 1070. Everything now loads within 20 to 30 seconds. As you can see, the game itself is actually quite beautiful to look at, even though we seem to be doing this at dusk, so you don't really get to see all the pretty details of it. So I've selected Saren, she comes up first, and these little dots on the screen show your range of where you can go, where you can move your mech. And the different colors designate different hazards. So rough terrain affects your stability if you get hit, so we usually try to stay out of that. Go ahead and move up here. Those chevrons under the word sprint affect the enemy's targeting. Basically, this is a turn-based game, but that's how the computer determines how hard you are to hit by how much you've moved. So we're gonna spread everybody out here. Sarah and Shocker and Snowbird usually stay together to support each other. And Razorcat, which you can see can move a lot farther than anybody else. As you can see, these green tips up here, these little green dots, means it's a forest, which gives you a 20% bonus to your cover, which is great. Especially early in the game, you want to take advantage of the terrain as much as possible, and the forests are a great way to do that. They'll reduce how much damage you take, and mixed with bulwark and cover, greatly reduce. Move here. There you go. Alright, so my scout, Razorcat, flanker, has found the enemy for us. And we get, alright, so we got some big ones here. First we've got a flea, which is like a 20-ton annoyance. But they move fast, and they can move around you. This one, we don't know exactly what he is. I can guess. At an 80-ton, he's probably an awesome, or something like that. So, we got two. There we get to see here, plot out what's in front of them. Apparently they're not hiding in the forest. There's a big rock between us and them. So if you want to look at this, look around the screen here, you have, start here in the upper left, my turn. This is your mission, destroy the enemy mechs, which we found. There might be some more hiding out there. Usually lances run in 4s, but on some missions they can come down as 2 and 3s. Up here at the top you have the initiative, and see nobody's in initiative 5, which means it's initiative 4 turn, which means it's Razorcat's turn. And these little chevrons underneath tell you how many mechs are in that initiative slot to go. So initiative 4, there is 1, which is my guy. Nobody in initiative 3. Initiative 2, there are 2, which would probably be Archer and Marauder. And initiative 1, there's Snowbird and the 80-ton mech of theirs. On the right, you can withdraw from the mission if you want. I don't know what these backward chevrons mean. And this is the menu. So, where you can restart or save, load, the main menu. But what we're going to do, because we want to get this 80-ton out here into the open, we're going to reserve Razorcat to go to the next initiative phase, and we'll reserve them again to 2. Actually, we're just going to reserve everybody because we want this 80-ton to move. Here he goes. Yeah, it's awesome. And Awesomes carries 3 PPCs, but he's probably carrying stock PPCs, so he can do about 150 points of damage if he can hit you. Now, if you look at, highlight him, you can see there's some information that pops up. You get his designation. He's a Lancer, which tells you what kind of abilities he has, about what level he's at, what kind of mech it is, and awesome. And these little gray boxes, gray and white boxes, are his armor. The gray boxes are his internal armor, and the white boxes are his external armor. And external armor is kind of around everything. You got to strip that away to get to the internal armor to destroy the mech. You can see he's got bulwark, and he's got cover, but he only has one chevron, so that means he hasn't moved much, meaning it's going to be easier to hit. Then down below, there's that black bar, and that is his heat. Every time he fires a weapon, it's going to go up. Especially with an awesome, it usually means he's only going to get a couple of shots before his heat. He's got to wait for it to cool down. And that white bar below is the stability bar, which different weapons like ballistics and missiles can rock the net back and forth, and if it rocks too much, you can knock it over and you get a free fall shot. So he's moved, now it's my turn. And show you what a flanker does. We're going to move him up and around. As you can see, they just went red because he was the only one that had eyes on them. And I can't get a shot at them, so we're just going to sprint. And we're going to take cover in the forest. Now I did this for a couple reasons. One, it gets my chevrons up real high, so if they do take a shot at it, at my Marauder, their chances of hit are going to be low. Plus, I've got the cover of the forest and my bulwark, which gives me a high buff. And if I do take damage, it's not going to be much. But I also did this to expose the other two mechs so my other pilots can get a shot at them, especially Shocker. As you can see, we'll move her forward. As you can see on the screen, there are two golden lines. Those are indirect fire lines. Long-range missiles are indirect. They can be direct or indirect. And so that lets you shoot over obstacles, buildings, tall rocks. Even if you don't see them, you get a shot at them because somebody else can see them. And you see this little white and red circle around our enemy here? That is the direction. As you can see, the red is highlighted, which means we're shooting at the front of the mech. If we were on the side, these ones would be lit. And if I'll show you once we get the flanker in the back, he'll have the back open. We'll move it around here. And the back has the weakest armor. And so a flanker, not a lot of firepower, can bring down a much bigger mech if they can get a shot at the back. So we'll go ahead and take a shot. Now I was telling you about morale earlier. I just say, on the main screen it was 50. Well, that translates into combat. Each combat turn you get 43 resolve, 43 morale every turn to spend on special attacks or defenses, which are precision strike or vigilance. I rarely use vigilance because I'm positioning my mechs correctly, but I use precision strike all the time. And basically what it does, click on it, it gives you a called shot, and you get to choose where your pilot shoots his weapons at. And I usually go, I am not a finesse guy, I don't try to pick them apart, I just try to blow them out of the ground as quickly and as fast as I possibly can. So as you can see on him, called shot on the center torso is 82%, which means about 82% of the damage that you fire will hit the center torso. Down below here, on the right, you have weapons, you have the ammo, the damage. For a missile, it's 4, but there's 20 of them, so it does about 80, and your chances of hitting are 95%. So this fires 20 missiles. You would guess that between 19 and 20 are going to hit the target. So you're going to do your maximum amount of damage. But we're going to have a little fun here. We're not going to actually shoot at the awesome. We'll back out. We're going to shoot at the flea instead. As you can see, the hit percent went way down, but the center torso remained the same. But we're going to fire it down. And boom, down he goes. A little mech like that can't take 40 missiles. It just eradicates them. And now we have Snowbird, which is, oh, you can actually get a shot. Okay. Move her around. And she can get a shot at the front. As you can see, she's only one weapon is in range, which is the extended range large laser. So, not a lot of damage. And we missed. Well, whatever. But even missing takes away the evasion. She'll be more critical later. Alright, we've gone to the next turn. And this is where I told you the initiative and becomes important. It is Razor's Cat's turn again. And basically he gets another shot. So we're going to use his jump jets to come in behind this guy. Go around the screen here. And so you see this cone is his vision cone, and those bands inside it are his weapon arcs for the different weapons. He has several weapons that have different ranges. Ultra Cannon 2 is a long-range weapon, as you can see. The cone goes way out forever. Then it has two medium lasers, which is that intermediate cone, and that white area is for the small lasers, which are short range. And we're going to put him in there. So the Phoenix Hawk is especially nice because every time it jumps, it gets a 10% bonus damage. So you can stack that on with all the other damage. And we're taking a college shot of the big guy here in the back, and we'll just aim for center torso, 86%. As you can see, all his weapons are at 95. You know, he can't miss. And we'll take a shot. And you saw all the damage, all the reports up here. You didn't kill him because the first shot of the Ultra Cannon hit him in the leg. But as you can see, we did some damage. All those gray boxes that turn orange means we've gotten into the inside. If I actually click on him, yeah. If I click on him, you can see the damage. You can see where the autocannon hit the leg here is a little grayer, but you can see where most of the damage hit the back. He was really close to taking him down. There's only 10 left, and we took out a heat sink, which is important for an awesome because they run PPCs, which are energy weapons, and they run real hot. And actually, yeah, this one's got 3 PPCs with a small laser. So, yeah, sure that this. Oh, this down here gives you all the buffs, and so this one means he was the mech was not well maintained. So now we'll go to Saren. We'll keep her in the forest. Move her forward. I have enough resolve for morale. Take another shot. As you can see there, She had a 91 in her center torso. That's the bonus the Marauder gives. And we'll fire. And that was the mission. That's all you got to do. Take out two. As you can see, they run no tactics at all. They just come at you. Honestly, they didn't even get a chance to fire. And that was a 3-skull mission. And so this is the results screen. You see the pirate faction went down. I'll bring that back up later. There was review. The Mercenary review board rating goes up. Morale goes up. Our employer gives us their thanks, how much money you made, the objectives you completed. You go to the next. And this is any damage your mechs took, how much experience your pilots get, if they took any injuries, which they didn't. If there was any damaged systems, which they're not. Go to next. And this is where we get to choose what we take. As you see, this is all the salvage that was recovered from the battlefield. A lot of heat sinks. Nothing too happy. I'm going to say a small laser, but rare small laser, but I don't really need those. We'll take the awesome piece, because as you collect 3 of them, you get to put them together and to make your own mech. But I usually just sell them once I construct all the pieces. And we get 2 items. I guess we'll take the 3 piece, because we already have a piece of that. So that'll give us 2 of each. And then the computer gives us the rest, PPC, small lasers, some heat sinks. Basically, this is all stuff that gets sold for scrap. And we're back to the Argo. So let's go to the Mech Bay. And I'll give you a little bit more of a lowdown on how weapon system works. So let's start with the Archer. In my last run through, I actually used 2 missile boats and 2 attackers, with the goal being to generate as many knockdowns as possible. So we'll hit the refit button here. This will bring up a screen that will show the layout of the mech. As you can see, I've got several equipment pieces and just 2 weapons. And the 2 weapons, of course, are the long-range missile 20, and they are the ultra-rare variant, meaning they do 2 extra stability damage, and they do 50% critical damage. Once they get into that interior armor, they do 50% more damage. So the 3 things they have. The TTS system gives a 3% accuracy to the missiles, so a better chance to hit. This is worth having, though it's only really effective on bigger mechs because they're the only ones that have space for it. Comm system, this gives me 3 resolve per turn. So, like I said, as you saw with called shots, how much damage you can do, the more resolve, the better. And the Archer is a special slot, which is great, which gives long-range missile clustering, which means that your missiles stay together better, hitting one area of the mech. And it also, I haven't run this one yet, but 75% short-range missile ability damage. I said this can obviously have a variant for being up close but I prefer it long range. Just kind of knock things around. And then I have a heat bank. This is a regular heat bank, but it helps dissipate the heat of the missiles. It gives me 10 extra heat and 5% or 5 over heat threshold, which when you look at on the gameplay menu, that black bar has a little red line to it. That is your overheat threshold, and this puts it back 5 units, which is good. On the missile boat, it's not that big critical, but any little bit helps. If I had extra room, and this only takes up 1 ton, what else are you going to do with a ton other than armor? Over here on your left, get your ratings for the mech, its movement, firepower, how much damage the layout that you've selected can do, which is 160 damage, and it does 8 stability damage. The heat efficiency, this is really important because, as you see, the heat sinking, that it has 0 heat sinking, just what the mech normally does is 30, but an alpha strike only costs me 36. So every turn that I fire, I'm generating basically 6 heat. I have no jump jet, so there's 0 heat from that, and the mech shuts down at 110 heat. So basically, every attack I generate 36 heat. Every turn I'm coming down 30, so I have 6 left over, and that builds up over time, which for a normal mission doesn't matter. It'll take forever to reach 110. I'll probably run out of missiles first. And if you want to change your mech, over here below you have your list of weapons, and the missiles or the items that are grayed out are weapon systems that can't fit on the mech. They don't have any hard points. As you can see, this is either a missile or an energy weapon. Both. And we have lots of different long-range missile variants: 15s, 10s, 5s, 20s. Anything you want to stack it on. Basically, you just drag and drop what you want. Let's say put a short-range missile. Goes there, like so. Don't want it, put it back. So. And then over here, how much money it's going to cost to change and how many days. Cost isn't a big deal as time. It's best to do your mech refits when you're in transition, when you're going between planets. That way you're not wasting time when you get to a planet. Alright, we'll move back out. Let's just reset everything. So this is the Phoenix Hawk. This is the flanker, as you saw, jumping around. As I say, I have lots of ultra rare weapons on it. I've not ever found an ultra rare ultra cannon, but as you can see, take the layout. Usually when you get these in stock, they come with medium lasers and a large laser. This one's been reconfigured to use the ultra cannon, as it generates less heat and does more damage. And then the short range lasers are great because, one, they do 10 more damage than your regular short laser, and they do 50% critical damage, which is essential when you're shooting things in the back, trying to bring down those big mechs. As you saw, if the ultra cannon at both rounds had hit where they were supposed to, we would have killed that big mech. But the Hawk does come with a cool internal system called the Vector Thrust Kit, which gives it 10% to jumping distance and 10% damage after jump, which is makes him a great flanker. And I also have it equipped with an ultra rare rangefinder, which gives me 120 meter extra viewing distance. So, like I said, I can see the enemy well before they can see me, which helps me plan. And we jump back out here, take a look at the Marauder. Marauder is something I came up with my first playthrough, but I've upgraded it this time around. Some different things. So it runs with 2 snub PPCs, which are shorter range than the regular PPCs, but they, instead of 1 shot, you get 15 shots, or 5 shots, sorry, 15 damage at 5 shots. So instead of getting 1 chance to hit the target, you get hit 5. And this one is a rare, and it generates 10 less heat, which is great for this kind of mech. Heat is a big deal. Also, the lasers. I might check and see if I actually have some. Oh, I do. Cool. So I can upgrade these lasers here. I'll take out the rare laser and install the ultra rare laser, which gives me basically 3 accuracy on the laser and a 50% critical damage, compared to the rare laser, which is 1 accuracy and 25% critical damage. And down here you can see it's going to cost $1,000 to change it out, and get 1 day, which is fine. This also runs, as you see here, a rare heat bank. It's bigger than the other one, but it gives me 30 more heat and 15 over heat threshold. And the difference between this build and the build I ran before are these heat sinks D, which are only, I guess the D stands for double, which are only available in Star League equipment. And instead of the standard heat sink, which heat sinks 3 heat per turn, these heat sinks 6. They're bigger than a regular heat sink, but for the tonnage, they're great. Instead of 1 ton per 3, you get 1 ton per 6. And it makes a big difference when you look over here at the heat efficiency. An Alpha Strike generates 81 heat, but the heat sinking is 78 between the heat sinks and the heat bank and the heat exchanger. I'll explain the heat exchanger here in a second. And the shutdown is at 130. As you remember, on the Archer, it was 110. So basically, every time I shoot an Alpha Strike, I'm only generating 3 heat, which is great. It means I can shoot all day, which was a problem in my last build. I only had regular heat sinks, and so I could shoot probably twice, and then had to run with the auto cannon until I take the heat away. So that took usually a turn or 2. Not very effective. Let's see. Look at the heat exchanger. Basically, this is a rare heat exchanger, which gives my weapons 20% less heat. So, as you look at the Nundo's PC, it generates 25 heat minus 20% of that, which is 5. So 20. Did I do that right? Well, it lowers it substantially with the laser here. And this would take it down to 10, so that's even less heat being generated. I think if I take this off, put it here, the heat efficiency up here will change. Yeah. The heat sinking just went to 78, and the Alpha Strike went to 102. So, it's a big difference out of that heat exchanger. The gyro, this is great. Raises the hit defense by 3. It makes it harder to hit. And when you do take damage, it's not as much damage. Along with it, I'll also run the Ultra Auto Cannon 5, which does, when it hits, with 90 points of damage, which can take a chunk out of just about anything. And the only problem with ballistic weapons is they give you every time you shoot, it throws off the next shot, and the recoil throws off the next shot. So this gives you a -2 to recoil, which means your next shot afterwards will be more accurate. And it's also 2 less tons. Gives you room for other things. So we're going to confirm here. Tell Yang to go ahead. As you see, gray's out. We're going to work on it. It shows up here in your timeline at the beginning of the day. We'll look at the Battlemaster. This Battlemaster was a Star League weapon that I bought from the Pirates. And as you can see, it has just a myriad of different weapons. It has the heat exchanger, the big hit sinks, the gyros. You know, it's meant to take a punishment. It runs with some PCs too. Large laser, the extended laser. And it has a comm system, an ultra rare comm system, which is 4 more resolve. And I said that resolve becomes really important to start taking out other mechs. I'll show a little more, probably in another video, how that works. Up here we have the tonnage rating, how many tons you got left to play with, and then the number of hard points it can fit, and the number of jump jets. This is actually it. Imagine 85. But jump jets add to your heat, and they don't really fly all that much. So, and we'll go back here. We'll get the back on this real quick. This is a work in progress. It's just kind of I only run this mech if I have to go against other really heavy mechs that can blow out the Hawk in one shot. Not that I've ever run into that, but usually the enemy ignores the Hawk for whatever reason. So if I can get it behind the enemy, I can shoot them in the back all day. But that's the only problem with the Hawk. We'll get its heat efficiency, as you can see, sucks. It only heat sinks 30, the Alpha Strike is 44, and the jumps add 12. So that's 26 heat at the same time, and that adds up in a hurry. And it doesn't heat sink all that fast. Only heat sinks about half. So, but as it says, it gets in behind, it can wait a turn or two to dissipate the heat. So those are my mechs. That's what I like to play with. We'll go back out here to the article main screen. So if you like what you saw, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. If you want me to get into something in more detail or have a question, leave a comment below. But I'll see you next time. See you on the battlefield. Bye.